out here in our big pumpkin field just right down the road from the home farm, and I will get around to making a new video and telling you a little bit about my new tractor, but today we're focusing on planting pumpkins. So this is new to me Monosem planter. It's practically new. It's set outside, so it looks a little rough, has some surface rust on it, but there's absolutely no wear to speak of on this thing because it belonged to North Carolina A&T University, one of our 2 land grant universities. If you're not familiar with land grant, those are the ag schools. Pretty much every state, I think every state has a land grant university, and they exist for agriculture research. And in our state, they kind of work together. The land grant universities work with the Ag Extension Service and with our research stations, which we have several of all over the state that do agriculture research, because in North Carolina, our #1 economic driver is agriculture still. It's a $110 billion business, I believe. So anyway, this planter was owned by the university system, and it was only used for research, so very little acreage on it at all, but has been sitting outside, so there's some surface rust on it and whatnot. But I have wanted one of these Monosem planters for a long time. If you're not familiar with them, these are extremely precise planters, one of the original vacuum style planters. The way they work, we've got some Kratos seed in here right now, and the seed comes down here and goes into this seed chamber where it is agitated by this little bronze agitator down into here, where there's not a lot of room, but there's enough room for seeds, just a couple seeds, to stick to these holes in this stainless steel plate that rotates. And it comes up, and then it has a little finger that sits about right in here, and it vibrates slightly, and it knocks part of the seeds off. However you have it set, ideally for us, for these pumpkins, we want one seed to end up riding around here, and then it comes over to right here above the seed tube, going down into the double disc openers, and the vacuum is turned off by a back plate, and then the seed drops down this tube. The double disc openers open the seed trench, falls in, these closers close it, and this packs it. This particular planter is fitted with Yetter row cleaners and N0-Till coulters on the front of it. If I had went to Monosem and ordered a brand new planter for my use on this farm, this is it. So I really got fortunate on this and found exactly what I wanted, what I needed. This field is a little bit bigger than 8 acres, but what we tend is 8 acres. The landlord likes to have sort of a green right away, so to speak, around the outside, so they can ride 4-wheelers and deer hunt and stuff. So what the tendable portion of this field is 8 acres, and we are going to plant the majority of it in Kratos jack-o'-lanterns, and then we're going to plant some Olympus jack-o'-lanterns, and then we are going to plant some other odd and end hybrid and heirloom pumpkins down in the other section. I have got, and I'll talk more about this after I figure it out, get some more use on it, but I have recently just bought a GPS system. This is the Agricision that you see advertised on Facebook all the time, or maybe I just started seeing it because I was researching tractor GPS, affordable tractor GPS system. This is made in the United Kingdom. I ordered it from Britain and it came across the pond 3 days later. I was amazed. I don't know how they do that. I guess UPS flies planes every day. But it just works off of your iPad or your phone. Pretty simple system, not a lot of buttons on it. You can do AB lines, you can go in circles, you can go crooked AB lines. Real simple, and it seems to work well. The only really reason I'm using that for planting today is just to keep up with acreage and where the blocks are at, because I can save the field data in here. And when I come back to spray, there won't be no question about where the spray road is, because when pumpkins are just starting to come up in a cover crop like this, depending on the rainfall and how well the seed treatment gets activated, sometimes we have some cucumber beetle issues early on when the pumpkins are just coming up. I mean, when they're about this tall, a lot of times we'll have to spray them for cucumber beetles, and they're pretty hard to see. This is just one example of why I'm using this GPS, or what it's going to be handy for. So when those pumpkins are tiny and you can't hardly see them and you need to come out here and spray them, well, I'm going to have the whole field layout on this, and all I'll have to do is go in here and open the Smith field and come in here and follow my spray roads through the field. So it's going to be super handy for that. It'll be super handy when we get done planting. We're going to spread fertilize. Yeah, it's already been really nice. But it's a light bar that's magnetic, sits on the hood, and then this acts as your remote GPS antenna, but also it is a light bar for a visual cue for driving straight lines across the field. And then it has an additional light bar here, and then your field layout shows up here. So yeah, without further ado, we're gonna jump in and see if we can get some pumpkins in the ground. I did test this planter yesterday a little bit, but we're still going. That was just preliminary. We're gonna plant a little bit, and we're gonna get out and do some digging and make sure we got everything the way we want it. So I've got this camera that I got off Amazon. I think I need to send it back because it's kind of garbage. I mean, there's a picture here, but it's super unclear. The plan was that I could open these, and I can't talk over there close because you won't be able to hear me. The plan was to be able to open the flaps on the Monosem and on the units and see the seed riding by on the seed plates, and that way I don't have a seed monitor, but if I could see the seed riding by on those seed plates, then I would know that everything's working properly and I'm not running out of seed and the planter's planting. But as you can tell, maybe there's not enough definition in this picture to be able to tell. I mean, all you can do is kind of get a fuzzy picture of what's going on. So I don't know how good that's going to work. So I messed with this thing yesterday trying to get the row cleaners set just the way I wanted them, and the press wheels and everything, but I wasn't in actual field conditions. So there may be some adjustments that need to be done this morning. I'm using Monosem pumpkin low pop plates, what they call them. They can be set between 28 inches and 84 inches. And since our planter is a 38-inch spacing, we're planting seeds about 5 feet apart. You gotta give them pumpkins plenty of room. I found seed in this row, and we are about 2 inches deep, which is right on, pretty spot on what I want to be for no-till pumpkins. We have got really nice moisture. It's not so wet that it's sticking to the planter, but it's definitely plenty of moisture to get these babies germinated. Also means that I'm going to need to get this sprayed right away, because these babies should pop out of the ground pretty quickly. Alright, well, I'm real happy with this. We're gonna see if we can't get some seeds on in the ground. With me today, being a huge help. And what's the verdict on the camera?
To tell when the seeds come around.
I know what it's for. Is it working? Can you see the seeds in low definition?
Yeah.
You can see them going around?
It's hard to tell, kind of bouncing around, but kind of be better if you could get it close, because it's like, it's not super duper close, but at the same time it still the camera makes it look farther than it is.
Yeah. Well, maybe I should have, if I was really wanting it to work well, instead of going with a cheap Chinese junk off of Amazon, maybe I should have bought an ag cam. And I'm really ticking off my OnTrak system, because I'm not planting by the AB lines. I wish I hadn't put the AB lines on there in the first place, and just let it paint. But I did put them on there, so it's very unhappy about what I'm doing, and it's not really painting real clear because of that.
Can't you take the AB lines off?
I don't know. I'm scared if I do that it's going to the coverage will be cleared and area coverage reset. Turn that off. AB lines will be cleared. Clear. Aha! There you have it. We got one line that I didn't paint. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have to make 8 passes to get our field width, our section width right for our planter, or not planter, for our sprayer. So one more down and back. It was just easier for me to plant based off of watching where I'm going, instead of trying to watch that AB line deal and stay where I need to be, because there's planting with such a small implement. It's almost over this thing's head, I think. I think you kind of, that's not really what this is designed for, really, because this is a more of like a budget GPS, and maybe what I'm trying to do with it is more of a job for RTK. But what I really bought it for is spreading fertilizer and spraying, and since I've got it, I'm just trying it on everything. But y'all, I couldn't be more tickled to death with this planter. It is, I've never had a planter that did a really good job of planting pumpkins. It either wouldn't get them in the ground good, I'd have part of my seed laying on top of the ground, or the biggest problem I have with my international cyclo is singulation. I would have seeds in piles, lots of skips and lots of piles of seed is what I have with my International planter. Now it does a fantastic job planting green beans and planting sweet corn, but it's just not made for planting pumpkins. And the icing on the cake is that I'm sitting in the air conditioning. Never had that either. Love the hydraulic shuttle shift. Well, it took us a little bit to get some stuff dialed in here, but everything is working like a sewing machine now. I'm a little bit bummed that I couldn't set my little ag cam, or whatever you want to call it. It's not an ag cam, but a little bit bummed I couldn't set it up to where we could see both row units at the same time, but we can put it in 2 different places and check each row unit one at a time. We just have to keep a check on our seed and make sure we're not running out, but we are watching one row unit at a time. And what that does, how that is helpful, is we used to have to do a lot, or I used to have to do a lot of on and off the tractor when I was planting with my International, checking singulation, checking depth. We've been checking that, and we're in good shape on that. So really the only thing to keep an eye on is to make sure that our seeds are metering like they're supposed to. And what we're doing with the camera back there is we can only watch one at a time, but we can tell by looking at it, watching as we plant, that there's one seed at a time coming riding around. It ain't doubling up and it ain't skipping. It is singulating these seed, I mean, perfectly. And that is why I wanted a Monosem planter for so long. But it is shaping up to be a scalding hot day, and we are sitting in here in a nice 68-degree cab with no dust, watching a camera on our seed meters, and painting the field sometimes when we remember to turn it on. Yeah, but you can see we've got our spray roads in. It's not going to be perfect. I did get it working a little bit closer, but this is an economy GPS system. It's not John Deere RTK, and it also doesn't come with a high dollar subscription or a great big price tag. So it's going to tell me where the spray roads are when I come back to do my first insecticide application, and that's really the only reason I'm even running it. But we are cool as a cucumber, making things happen, actually knocking out this field more quickly and efficiently than I thought we would. So hey y'all, I got the last of these pumpkins planted, and I finished up around 5:30, I think. Went back, dropped the planter, grabbed the sprayer, and now I am laying down some pre-emerge, and I'm actually spraying some Roundup in with the pre-emerge. I don't really have any bad weeds out here. There's some odd and end, like morning glories that have, you know, little aggravating stuff that has popped back up. Morning glory, sickle pod, cuckleburs, that kind of stuff. Fairly easy to kill. So, and actually, honestly, the Reflex would probably take care of that stuff. But just for a little cheap insurance policy, I put some Roundup in the tank mix. As far as pre-emerge, I am spraying Reflex and Dual Magnum. I've done a little bit of everything over the years. I think if you hit the rain right, strategy is probably your best weed control, as long as you're not close to anybody's stuff. Used to tend this farm across the river, actually in the river bottom, and I sprayed Strategy or Command down there one time and turned every tree in that river bottom white. So you got to be careful with Command. I mean, thankfully it wasn't like some lady's azalea bushes or something. I really enjoy spraying. I enjoy it even more now that I'm in the air conditioning doing it. And this guidance makes it pretty slick as well. So I don't know if I really got to talk about that much or not, but that's the light bar that sits out front, and I actually am following AB lines now. So if you look at the iPad screen in combination with the light bar, it works better if you're not filming a YouTube video and you're paying attention to what you're doing. That's usually the best case scenario. Alright, well y'all, I'm gonna wrap this thing up because I'm not capable of paying attention to all this and filming a YouTube video at the same time. So I can't move my mouth and hold a camera and drive and watch a screen and a light bar all at the same time. So I think I pretty well covered everything that I've done today. I planted a bunch of different varieties of pumpkins. The main variety of jack-o'-lantern I planted was Kratos, but I also planted some field trips and some Long Island cheese. We always sell quite a few of those, especially leading up to Thanksgiving. But anyway, I appreciate y'all watching, and I will see y'all next time.